Welcome ladies and gents, Chris Andre here. You can find me at BetBoxing on Twitter. Of course, you can subscribe to the channel Let's Talk Boxing. It's the day after the night before and my excitement levels are still sky high. We have an undisputed title fight, ladies and gentlemen, 6 weeks away, April 29th. A fight for the ages where we shall see an undisputed heavyweight champion crowned. Will it be the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, or will it be the cat, Oleksandr Usyk? You know, in the excitement of it all yesterday, the way it was developing, like transfer deadline day, news stories just rolling in constantly, my position was altering. It was almost like observing a court case as to who was at fault, and new evidence was being presented, and there I was, a member of the jury, swinging from side to side, trying to decide what it was that was going on. But by the end of the day, by the third video, I sort of moved away from my typical approach on this channel where I play the defense and the prosecution and give both sides of an argument. And I let you guys be the jury with your comment section down below. And instead what I did was share my view, my concluding view of how I thought it played out. And I felt that Oleksandr Usyk played a blinder and maybe played Tyson Fury like a fiddle. But a few of you pulled me up on it. And you said, actually, Chris, are you sure about this? Because I actually believe that Tyson Fury played Oleksandr Usyk, and you made your cases and you made some very strong points as well. So what I'm going to do here in this video is give you both sides of the argument from both sides of the aisle, and I'm going to let you guys decide who got the better of who psychologically, who played whom. You see, when the day first started off, I made the first video and I was explaining how whilst I felt that Tyson Fury should not be exonerated from blame at all, and there was no doubt about the fact that perhaps it looked like Usyk was more willing to make concessions to make the fight, he was to blame as well for the fight not occurring based on certain statements that were made. Namely, that Oleksandr was saying that they would walk away from a 60-40 offer. Now, the reason this was a big deal is because I felt that anything between 50-50, which is what I felt was the fairest possible split, and 60-40 to Tyson Fury was acceptable. Eddie Hearn also felt that this was the case, by the way, and there's certainly no love lost between Eddie Hearn and Tyson Fury. But like Eddie Hearn, I also felt that Tyson Fury was being greedy, and he should have just made the concession that was necessary in order to make this historic fight, or split the difference down the middle, 55-45. But because Usyk was not budging, he was so rigid, and Team Fury was so rigid and they weren't budging, I thought that both guys were being greedy. And it doesn't matter what the historical context says about Usyk has been more willing to make concessions in the past. Usyk has also put his feet firmly in the ground and said, I'm not moving, I'm not budging when opportunities have presented themselves to him. Not just the Joe Joyce situation, but the issue with Anthony Joshua. And Oleksandr said in the interview with ID Boxing, we've had this situation before with AJ. And whilst AJ got the rematch clause, the one-way rematch clause, which is highly in favour of Anthony Joshua, in terms of the split, Team Joshua made concessions. So let's not pretend that Usyk is some sort of charity case here that's only looking for legacy. He's also a prize fighter. But I also felt, of course, that Fury's been traditionally the more difficult to negotiate with. But as the day wore on, when Tyson Fury then came out and said 70-30 in my favour, I saw that outside the remit of what I felt was fair between 60-40 and 50-50. And as a result of that, to me, it looked like he was pricing himself out of the fight, as though he didn't want the fight, particularly when he's adding 1% daily reduction for Usyk's purse every time he delays. So when Oleksandr Usyk immediately get up and said, right, I'll take the 70-30 as long as you make a £1 million donation. And additionally to that, every day that you delay, there'll be a 1% additional payment from your purse. I realized that, okay, it's very possible here that Oleksandr Usyk set a trap. He pretended, I'm not even willing to accept 60-40, knowing that Fury would push the boundary even more, to then come out and say, well, actually, I'll accept 70-30. That may have been what he was always willing to accept. And I gave the analogy of Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has been operating at 135 pounds. He has moved up to 140. So has Tank Davis. But Ryan Garcia all of a sudden said, I can no longer make 135. So the fight would have to be at 140. Almost immediately, Team Tank came out and said, we can make the fight at 136. And straight away, without hesitation, Ryan Garcia said, I'll accept your 136. Is that a case of Ryan Garcia always been willing to take that? He would have been willing to make the fight at 135, but he set a trap. They they took the bait, and now the fight has to happen at 136, and Ryan Garcia is saying, you're draining me, that's your only purpose, because you know I'm going to beat you. But ultimately, all along, Ryan got what he wanted. Was it a case of Oleksandr Usyk saying, I want 70-30, that's it, and I'm able to manufacture a position here, a little chess playing position to lure Tyson Fury in? There is an alternative though, and this is what you guys have pulled me up on. A few of you have said, hold on a sec, Chris. What if Tyson Fury is the one that was always willing to make the fight happen, knowing that Usyk had no other real options financially speaking? And so by saying 70-30, what he's doing is saying to Oleksandr Usyk, I'm playing hardball and I'm ready for the fight, but you're going to give up 20% of your purse. And by giving up 20% of your purse to me, in some sort of way, you're accepting a level of inferiority. I've just taken the unified heavyweight champion, former undisputed cruiserweight champion, and made him only accept 30% to fight me. I'm making the money, and I've got the home advantage. You are not on an equal playing field here. This is not Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk undisputed title fight. This is the Tyson Fury show, and you are dancing to my tune. You're inferior. You're here to turn up as an opponent and you're going to get dealt with. Is that the way that Tyson Fury has played this? Maybe it's Fury all along that thought he's making concessions. Let him talk. Let people say I'm ducking. I'm going to sign the fight. I'm going to take the fight. But he will accept my terms. And that's how a lot of other people are seeing it. Now, let's say that Oleksandr Usyk is the one that played Tyson Fury. Well, today, Fury put out a story on his Instagram where he's running, and he's saying that it's the first day of his training camp and he's going to deal with the sneaky bastard that is Oleksandr Usyk. Why would he call him sneaky if Oleksandr Usyk didn't pull a fast one over him, right? But additionally to that, Tyson Fury seems as though he's out of breath in that particular footage. In other words, you've left yourself with a 6-week camp. If you're not ready, if you're nowhere near ready, and you're starting from a position where you're really unfit, is that enough time for the biggest fight of your career, the biggest fight of your life? If so, Oleksandr Usyk, like I said, has played a blinder here because he's been training 3 times a day for the last couple of months, according to Alex Krasuk. So maybe Tyson Fury was not ready for this fight mentally, and all of a sudden it's been thrust upon him. There's a flip side to that coin though. Later on in the day, Tyson Fury put out an Instagram story to be saying he's been training 15 rounds today with Joseph Parker. They're in the gym, they're sweating. He's had a brutal session, he said. Maybe Fury's been getting ready all along as well and just not been publicizing it. And he's been ready. And he's getting ready, so to speak. He's in camp, but it's not really 6 weeks. He might have been training for the last 3 weeks. And so it's a 9-week camp, right? For all you know. And he's just been setting this up for Oleksandr Usyk to give up that extra 20%. Let me know what you think about this, ladies and gents. Who has the upper hand psychologically? There's been a third theory as well, which has been proposed to me, and that is that these guys had agreed all of this a few weeks ago. And that actually what they're seeking to do is create a little bit of drama on the day that the fight was going to be announced, and it was going to create a lot of interest. If that is the Machiavellian approach both promotional teams have taken, it certainly worked, right? If they had just announced that the fight would have been made, it would have been exciting. But not in the same way that it was yesterday and the way that it developed. You have to understand there was a very exciting presser between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. And yet everyone was focusing on the story developing with Fury and Usyk. To the extent where there were even American fans on my timeline writing things on Twitter like, this is the fight I'm looking forward to more than any other. Initially I'd gotten bored of it, but now I absolutely cannot wait. And that's American fans. We're not talking about British fans or Ukrainian fans. We're talking about American fans here. So the whole drama of the situation captured the imagination. So was this all just a big setup? Let me know what you think, ladies and gents. Who has the advantage here psychologically? Who has played whom in this particular war between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk? And does it matter? Do you think either one of them has gained an advantage here in terms of the trajectory of how the fight can potentially go? Is there nervous energy? Has someone been forced into a situation they don't want to be forced into? Is Oleksandr Usyk going to be angry at the fact that he's left 20% and hold his feet a little bit longer than he should, perhaps to try and hurt Tyson Fury? Or is Fury being forced because of pride to take the fight when he's only got a 6-week camp and he's not ready physically? Let me know what you think and how you think this is going to play out, and psychologically, who has the advantage. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. Please don't forget to hit a stiff jab on the like button, a right cross on the subscribe button, and an uppercut on the notifications button. Thanks for watching. Chat to you soon. Take care. God bless.